Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and today I'll be showing you how you can build a light dark mode toggle in ReactJS. So let's get started. So you can see I have a React application here. The first thing that we are going to do is use CSS variable to define the dark and the light. So right now, if you look at this, it have essentially the dark mode, right? And you can see the background color and the colors here. So background color is dark, black, almost black, and then we have the color as white, right? The first thing we are going to do is by default it's going to be the light theme. So the way we are going to do is by using CSS variables. So we're gonna say bg color to be, let's say, hash fff, and the text color to be hash let's say 2424, right? And this is basically we are saying that by default it is going to be in the light version. So these are like CSS variables which we are using to define the light theme. And what I'm going to do is by default the body is going to use these variables. So background, right? So background color equal to, not equal to, colon var bg color, right? And then same for the color var text color, right? So I'm just gonna disable cursor for now. All right. So we have the background color and the color here. Let's save it and see if that works. So you can see now it is in the light version, the light theme, right? Now we want to define a dark theme as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class here, dark, and in there override the variables. So for example, I'll just go here, bg color, and reverse the colors basically, right? So bg color is going to be the dark version, and then we'll have a text color here which is going to be hash fff, right? And this is essentially the dark variant, right? Now how we are going to make that work here. So for example, just to demonstrate, if I go to body and click on edit as HTML, go here, add a class called dark, and click out, you can see it's in the dark mode. So you can see the color, basically the color of the text gone white and the background gone black, right? Black or whatever, hash 2424, right? And this is basically because we override the CSS variable in this class, the dark class, and because we add that to the body basically use those variables, those overwritten variables, because body is like depend on those variables. But now we want to do this with React, and also we want to you know take in account what is the theme of the system. So for example, right now I have a dark theme, dark mode on. If I disable, the whole browser is changing to like the light version but not the web page. So we are also going to implement that. So now let's do that. I'm just going to reload this page, and I'm going to go to my app.tsx. And here we are going to define a state variable. I'm just going to delete this button, and instead I'm just going to change it to, toggle theme, let's say, right? And I'm also going to just remove this for now. Just going to keep it like empty. All right, so we don't need the count and set count. So const dark theme set dark theme, right? Or you can even say, theme here and just say set theme here equal to use state, and let's say by default it is light, right? And here I'm going to create a use effect which will run whenever you will change the theme. All right, so use effect. So we have to somehow add it to the, the body tag. So use effect, and it will always run whenever we change the theme. So I'm just going to put it inside the dependency array and going to import the use effect. Right now, let's implement the code. So the way we are going to do that is going to be document dot body dot class list dot add whatever the theme we have, and we can even do theme, let theme to add const theme to add. So in case of light, we just don't need any class, because by default it's light theme. Just in the case of dark, we need the dark class, right? So theme to add, in case if it is light, the theme, or let's do one thing. Let's do this. Let's use a switch case. I think that will make much more sense. So switch theme case, if it is light, will document.body.class_list.remove the dark class, and break it from here. And in case of dark, let's add the class. So let's add the class which is dark, break, and by default it doesn't do anything. Okay, so it's gonna break. And we have to set theme. What I'm going to do here is this. So set theme, and we can just let's say set it to dark. Okay. And just reload, click on this, and you can see, it changes to dark. But if I click it back, nothing will happen because it will not go ahead and change to, the light mode. So what we can do here is, instead of having like a variable, we can just, have like a state, which is either it is dark or either it's not, because it is only like a boolean, because you can only have two states. So what I'm going to do is, instead of theme, I'm just gonna say dark mode, right? And then just gonna do set dark mode here, and let's make it a boolean. By default it is false, right? And then here we can just say, I'm just gonna copy like this, and I'm just gonna say if dark mode, then just add the dark class, else remove the dark class, right? Make much more sense now. And now what we can do is we can just toggle it. So we can just say toggle the, set dark, not set dark mode, but just the dark mode, right? And now if the dark mode is true, then it will become false. And if it's false, then it will become true, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and reload this toggle theme, and you can see the dark and the light mode, right? So this works really great. Now, the other thing is, what about the system theme, right? So we also want to implement system theme. We also want to read the system theme, right? For doing that, we need to get the user preference, and the way we can do that is this. So const user preference, or user theme preference, equal to window.matchMedia prefers color scheme dark dot matches. So what this line essentially do is basically, check if the user have enabled dark mode and return true if it matches, right? Or false, whatever. So user theme preference, and I can just paste it here. And now it's going to look at the user theme preference first. So let's go to this page, and you can see by default it is dark mode. And if I go here, dark mode off, and reload this page, and you can see by default, it is light mode. So I'm just gonna again enable the dark mode, right? And you can see it now changes back to dark mode, but I can also toggle this. And this is how you can implement light and dark mode in your React applications. I hope you like the video, and I will see you in the next one.